From an old friend of mine named Billy Dean Andrus. Billy passed away sometime in 1970, casualty of the 60s. But he always sang this song, and I fell in love with it a long time ago. I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long ways from home, and if you people don't like me, you just leave me alone. Well, it's a dark night, and it's raining, and the moon gives no light, and my pony can't travel such a hard road at night. Well, I one time me a sweetheart, and her age was 19. She was the flower of Delta, she was the rose of Celine. Oh, but her parents didn't like me. Now she feels the same. So if I'm in your black book, babe, you just blot out my name. There's changes in the ocean, and there's changes in the sea, and there's changes in my true love. Oh, but no change in me. I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler, I'm a long ways from home, and if you people don't like me, you just leave me alone. Thanks. I know that I will open my eyes and something will have appeared on the stage. There is going to be some semblance of order to the evening. I don't usually strive for or allow, in fact, semblances of or assembly of order in either my material or in what I do in lieu of having material. But tonight I'm going to strive for a certain through line. And in so doing, was that? Oh, there. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. I knew it was here somewhere. I love this place. Anyway, so along, this is the song. They're all songs. The song that was written by somebody that we knew a long time ago. His name was Stephen Jesse Bernstein. I never knew the Stephen part until later on. It was always just Jesse, Jesse Bernstein. Jesse was from Los Angeles. I'm not exactly sure when he got up to Seattle, but he wound up in Seattle. And he liked it. And he stayed. And Jesse wrote poetry, novels and novellas, plays, and songs. He was a busy man. And we moved in different circles, but we would run across each other. And we certainly knew of each other before we knew each other. Jesse passed away. And friends of his decided to do a celebration of his life and work at the old OK Hotel downtown under the viaduct. Pete Linnerman was playing the bass. I don't know if anybody knows Pete. He's a jazz bass player. He and Jesse actually did some recordings together. Yeah, and they're cool. Anyway, Pete kind of organized the musical part, and he got a hold of me. And I didn't know any of Jesse's stuff. I'd read his poetry and his letters to the newspapers and that sort of thing, but I'd never actually heard any of his songs. So they got me a couple of cassettes, and I sat down and listened to them. And this song just kind of leapt right out at me. It's a charming little thing. It really is. Sometimes you write a song because it's good and it moves you. Sometimes you sing a song because, well, you wish you'd written it. Well, I wish I'd written this. It's a beautiful thing. It's called Somebody's Looking for Their Voice. Child is practicing their music. Could be a trumpet, but it's too sloppy to be sure. Like someone's trying to get out of that building, but the feet are nailed to the floor. And it's a beautiful thing, yes it is. It's a thing that gives me hope to live. Somebody is looking for their voice through an open window with their supper on a stove. It's a sound you can hear out on the street, humming and tapping at a beat, like someone whose life gives no reason, making up a reason of their own. And it's a beautiful thing, yes it is. It's a thing that gives me hope to live. Somebody is looking for their voice through an open window with their supper on a stove. Now a man is shadow boxing in a doorway. With his eyes closed, I know he's gonna win. He's kicking the trash out of the way. He goes down, but he always comes back up again. And it's a beautiful thing, yes it is. It's a thing that gives me hope to live. Somebody is looking for their voice through an open window with their supper on a stove. And a woman is standing at the bus stop, and she's yelling that the city is on fire. The cops come looking clumsy and disgusted. Everything they tell her, she says they are a liar. And it's a beautiful thing, yes it is. It's a thing that gives me hope to live. Somebody is looking for their voice through an open window with their supper on the stove. Well, now everybody is stuck inside the buildings. The ruins that we leave may last forever. And though everything we say may be forgotten, there's something that connects us like a river. And it's a beautiful thing, yes it is. It's a thing that gives me hope to live. Somebody is looking for their voice through an open window with their supper on a stove. And it's a beautiful thing, yes it is. It's a thing that gives me hope to live. Somebody is looking for their voice through an open window with their supper on the stove. Somebody is looking for their voice through an open window with their supper on the stove. I was waiting for you. I couldn't really get into the real stuff until you got here. You don't scare me like that. I only have so many of these fluff pieces I can play before the real stuff has to kick in. No, that's what I'm talking about. But being a clone song, I usually do it 4 or 5 times a night. You know. Okay, I want to play this song because I want to play it because I haven't played it in years. And I got a recording of that guy, Billy Dean, after all these years. And I started listening to it. And it's, you know, it's all funky. It's recorded on an old reel-to-reel tape back in 1966 or something like that. But I remember, because I was there. And he used to do this song. Now, this is a bluegrass song, but nobody plays like this. See if I can pull it off. I'd rather be in some dark hollow where the sun no never shine than to be all alone knowing that you've gone to cause me to lose my mind. So blow your whistle, freight train, take me far on down the track. I'm going away, I'm leaving today. I'm going, but I ain't coming back. I'd rather be in some dark hollow where the sun no never shine than to be all alone knowing that you've gone to cause me to lose my mind. So blow your whistle, freight train, take me far on down the track. I'm going away, I'm leaving today, I'm going, but I ain't coming Cool. I'll play this now and then I'll play it again later. Oh, you're never alone, you're never alone, never alone with your clone. You're never alone, you're never alone, never alone with your clone. You can go out for the night, still stay at home. You can call yourself on the cellular phone. You don't need a mirror to see how you've grown. You're never alone with your clone. Well, you can talk to yourself and it won't look weird. You can shave every day and still grow a beard. Have your duplicate personal re-engineered. You're never alone with your clone. Oh, you're never alone, you're never alone, never alone with your clone. You're never alone, you're never alone, never alone with your clone. And you can walk all the time in the other guy's shoes, give up your life for the cause that you choose, and watch the reports on the evening news. You're never alone with your clone. Or with the bifocal schizophrenic occurrence, standing in for yourself on a feat of endurance, you can kill yourself, collect the insurance. You're never alone with your clone. Oh, you're never alone, you're never alone, never alone with your clone. You're never alone, you're never alone, never alone with your clone. And you can suffer the victim and be your own thief, both sides of the law, above and beneath. You can be your own dentist and pull your own teeth. You're never alone with your clone. Or you can marry yourself with the laws will allow. Have sex with yourself, but don't ask me how. Immediate instant, the future is now. You're never alone with your clone. Oh, you're never alone, you're never alone, never alone with your clone. You're never alone, you're never alone, you're never alone with your If you cloned your own clone in multiplication, there would be no division in your population. And you could be your own united nation. You're never alone with your clone. And clone upon clone, like the fishes and bread, you could so fruitfully settle and spread to the whole wide world with identically bred. You're never alone with your clone. As above and below, an immaculate view, you would look just like God, who would look just like you. And there would be nothing that you couldn't do. You're never alone with your clone. You could write your own warning upon your own wall, and not in the same as the clarion called, and you would go crazy, and so would we all. You're never alone with your clone. Oh, you're never alone, you're never alone, you're never alone with your clone. You're never alone, you're never alone, never alone with your clone. That's what I said. Hands so gentle, eyes so wide, a woman I love beneath the wild western sky. Way out in Duck Valley, where the high winds fly, a woman I touched and was taken somewhere wild horse waking. How I remember the life we made, the eyes of society so afraid that we might see behind the darkened shade secrets supposed to be hidden. Somewhere wild horse listens, and she smiles so reassuringly across the distant visions of my memory. You have the eyes, my friend, you can surely see, don't let me down. She smiles, with eternity expanding in her hand. Sunrise, moonrise, grains of sand. There comes the time, my friend, we all must make a stand. Don't let me down. Tina, pretty woman, indigenous red, unraveling confusions, heavy thread, entering and leaving the living and the dead. Spirit weaver, your love has spoken. Somewhere wild horse will not be broken. Somewhere wild horse will not be broken. Well, I'm sitting down waiting for the bus to come, but the bus don't run this part of town. So I'll be sitting down waiting for the bus to come till the sun goes down. But there's money for the rich man's swimming pool, but nothing for the kids to go to school. Libraries closing down, the bus don't run this part of town. The bus don't run this part of town. Sitting down waiting for the bus to come, but the bus don't run this part of town. So I'll be sitting down waiting for the bus to come till the sun goes down. Well, they're building brand new thoroughfares, construction projects everywhere. If I had my way, I'd tear them down. The bus don't run this part of town. The bus don't run this part of town. Sitting down waiting for the bus to come, but the bus don't run this part of town. So I'll be sitting down waiting for the bus to come till the sun goes down. When they want money to start a war, they get everything they want and more. But we don't get a way around. The bus don't run this part of town. The bus don't run this part of town. Well, it's a broke down engine out of steam, flat tires and the American dream. Ain't gonna be no trickle down, 'cause the bus don't run this part of town. The bus don't run this part of town. Sitting down waiting for the bus to come, but the bus don't run this part of town. So I'll be sitting down waiting for the bus to come when the sun goes down. Now I don't know, it must be true, there must be something we can do. We're gonna have to turn this thing around. The bus don't run this part of town. The bus don't run this part of town. sitting down waiting for the bus to come. But the bus don't run this part of town. So I'll be sitting down waiting for the bus to come till the sun goes down. A better friend you never had, big brother, dear old dad, man about town, wheels rolling round, back in the old fresh air. Seemed like everybody was there. Harvey Mandel and Sugar Cane. Now it'll never be the same. There he is, and there he goes. There he is, and there he goes. You had a mean right swing, in and out of the ring, for the ones you love, and for the golden glove. And on a crosstown trail, running around with a third rail, and all the boys in blue sure like to get their hands on you. There he is, and there he goes. There he is, and there he goes. I used to sleep on the couch with your scooter on the floor. I guess I won't be doing that anymore. Everything smelled like dogs and motor oil. It was an oasis in a world of turmoil. You're getting old or slowing down. You get a job downtown, working the longshore, just like your brother before. Going out for one last fling. Oh, the songs we could sing, all about you and John John, and now those days are long gone. There he is, and there he goes. There he is, and there he goes. The girls stand off on the sidelines and they cry. Even the Iron Man gets a tear in his eye. So raise your glass and drink a toast to whoever it is that you love the most. I'm on my way. Every step is a brand new day. Yeah, life is good. It's going by just like it should. Yes, in this old town, sure got some stories to hold it down. And I know they broke the mold when this story got told. I know they broke the mold when this story got told. Yeah. Thanks. Nobody ever sits at that table until it's too late. I've noticed that. I don't know what it is about that table. Sometimes it's this table, sometimes it's that one. But there's a table down front that like just gets it's kind of like pox on it, you know? It's like people don't sit there. Maybe it's because there's a glass of, what is that, juice or tea or something left over, and there's an invisible, maybe something sitting in the chair. Maybe a Ouija board called it up. I don't know. Maybe it used to live in the other part of the bookstore. Now it's over here having a refreshment. Nobody wants to bother it. I don't know. Could be. This has seen better days, but I'm going to fix it. I'm going to glue it because I like it. It's a great tuner. So I got two tuners because this one only has a light. Okay, it only works by light. So if you're playing outdoors, you can't see it. It's stupid. This one only has a replication of needle, of analog, okay? So it's like shadow, you could say. So if you're playing in the dark, you can't see this one. So I have to have two. When it's too light, I use this one. When it's dark, I use that one. You know, it's like... What was that? Yeah, don't go too far north because you can go up there and it's light all the time. This is the Merle Haggard song I fell in love with. There's a really cool interview with Merle Haggard on YouTube. Bill Maher is interviewing him. Bill Maher is a fairly famous pot smoker. Has been for quite some time. So Bill says, you know, the first thing I ever heard about you, Merle, was, you know, that song, first line of the song is, you know, we don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. And I thought to myself, what is this? You know, have you mellowed over the years, Merle? And Merle says, I don't go to Muskogee too much. It's really funny. Anyway. It's a wonderful song. I never swim Kern River again. That's where I met her, and that's where I lost my best friend. And now I live in the mountains, I drifted up here with the wind. I may drown in still waters, I never swim Kern River again. I was raised in an oil town, but my gusher, it never came in. And the river was a boundary where my darling and I used to swim. One night by the moonlight, swiftness swept her life away. And now I live in Lake Shasta. Lake Shasta is where I will stay. There's a South San Joaquin where the seeds of the Dust Bowl are found. And there's a place called Mount Whitney from where the mighty Kern River runs down. Oh, it's not deep nor wide, but it's a mean piece of water, my friend. I may cross on the highway, I'll never swim Kern River again. I'll never swim Kern River again. That's where I met her, and that's where I lost my best friend. And now I live in the mountains, I drifted up here with the wind. I may drown in still waters, I never swim Kern River again. That's where I met her, and that's where I lost my best friend. And now I Darling, in the mountains I drifted up here with the wind. I may drown in still waters, I'll never swim Kern River again. Yeah, that's a good one. So I wrote this song back in 1980, I think it was. But I started doing it again because I like it. It's called Zurich. Zurich is that city in Switzerland where they have all the numbered bank accounts, right? The anonymous numbered bank accounts. And billionaires put their jewelry in there and stuff. It's known for that. And I did two tours of Switzerland ages ago, way back in the early 80s. And, or 1980, I guess. 81, somewhere back in there. My agent was an art student, and she burned out after a couple of tours. It's just a lot of work doing, and she wasn't up to it, neither was, I. But she was also political. She was an anarchist. And one time, I don't know, passing through airports or getting home or something, I read the news that there had been riots in Zurich. Thousands of young people took to the streets and just broke things, and broke windows and, kind of like the WTO sort of thing, I guess, if you look at it that way. And the newspapers that I looked at, and the Time magazine and all that stuff, they all basically said the same thing, was that young people went crazy in Switzerland. They went mad, which is usually what the newspapers say. Now, if anybody with, any sense slows down enough and turns off the radio momentarily, slows down, and you just think, it's fairly obvious that large numbers of people don't do things like that for, one, no reason, or because they went crazy. That's always bullshit. Always, always, always bullshit. So you think about it, and you wonder what actually happened. You wonder. So I wrote a letter to her. Her name was Anna Maya. Anna Maya. She was wonderful. She was great. Here she is now. And and I asked her to tell me what happened. What the hell happened over there? What's going on? And she says, I'll show you when you get here, because I had another tour coming up, my second tour, right? So what happened was, in a nutshell, was that, the country was turning, it had obviously a right-wing contingent was arguing with the left-wing contingent. Popular versus seclusion, I guess you'd call it. The back room, people with money versus the populace, that sort of thing. And young people had these youth centers, kind of like this would be a youth center, let's say, an autonomous youth center. They ran it themselves. They had their own rules. They had their own ceremonies. They had music and poetry and all kinds of stuff happening in these places. One I went to was I played one. It was in a disused oil storage tank, great big thing. And they'd cleaned it out, and they built a stage in there. And it was a fabulous gig. There was a bed hanging from the ceiling on the stage, While I was singing, there was somebody cavorting around on the bed as it was swinging around. It was a trip, but it was a youth center, Who am I to argue, Saves people's lives. But Switzerland, Zurich especially, had this right-wing contingent that was getting more and more angry, and money was getting tight, and so they had to make decisions. And as usually happens, they decided to feed their own pockets and take it away from the public, from the population. So, simultaneously, in the same week, some people say the same day, it could have been, simultaneously, they closed the youth center, and because they said they couldn't afford to keep it going, and they spent millions of dollars, or francs, Swiss francs, to refurbish the opera house. Now, opera may have once upon a time, and in certain countries may still be, a popular musical art form, but in most of the places that I've been to, it's a bit upper class. You don't go like this to the opera, right? You dress up for it. It's kind of the people on stage wear tuxedos and things. It's an upper class sort of a thing. So that was very definitely a class statement. So young people took to the streets. And Anna showed me around things and showed me pictures. And I remember going to a meeting where one of the Zurich government officials was addressing this huge throng of young people. And I couldn't understand the language because they were speaking Swiss German. The German they speak in Switzerland is like 600-year-old dialect. You know, it's ancient, it's old. And so he was speaking in Swiss German to people, and they didn't like what he was saying. And when they didn't like what the politicians would say, they would throw kitty litter at them. So they had bags of kitty litter, and they just started throwing kitty litter at him. I don't know if it was used. So I told her I'd write a song, and I did, and it goes like this. Meet out on the midnight street, underneath the lamplight, bright outside the diamond jewelry windows, dazzling your sight tonight. And something in the blood that pounds echoes in the hollow sound, and it all comes tumbling down in Zurich. It's taught among the rules of school that all that glitters must be gold, and those who would not play the fool must follow in the social mold. Oh, but the well-to-do, beautiful people on public view ain't got time for the likes of you in Zurich. It all begins one morning fine when the government money comes to town. A fortune goes to the opera, but not a penny trickles down to the youth center in the middle of town. Gonna have to close it down. Can't afford to have you hanging around in Zurich. In the shattering instant, and upon that well-remembered night, in a sudden clash with bricks and bottles, comes the most surprising sight. As fired with a smoldering heat, 5,000 angry rebels meet and break every window on that most beautiful street in Zurich. Anarchy on streets of gold, lights the flashing sirens wail. Frightened eyes behind the windows watch the young ones off to jail. Soldiers in their shouldered ranks, armed with water cannon tanks and rubber bullets to protect the banks of Zurich. How can such a trouble be? Is this the writing on the wall? The pillars of society, or how they give an anxious call? And orderly they plead for peace, discipline to say the least. What we need is more police in Zurich. From the gardens of Geneva to the flower streets of Amsterdam, inside the walls of West Berlin, trouble passes hand in hand. In among these times that be, no future do they see. That's the way it was explained to me in Zurich. I know, it's terrible. I've never done that before. I don't have been here for a while. Oh, well. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Good God. Built a fire on purpose?
We were taking a course that night on how to build a fire.
On stage. My heart is in the mountains, my soul is in the land. I'm stuck here in the city, there's so much I don't understand. It's a quiet desperation coming over me. I gotta leave, I can't stay another day. There's an emptiness inside of me. I feel too much loneliness out here. There's another place I've got to be. I've got to be. I long for you, Dakota. Smell of sweet grass in the plains. I see too much meanness. Quiet desperation coming over me. I gotta leave, I can't stay another day. There's an emptiness inside of me. Feel too much loneliness out here. There's another place I've got to be. Another place I've got to be. I didn't know you would trust me with another cup of coffee. Thank you. I've been waiting for you. You didn't have to, but thank you. I'm glad you did. Ah. Up and the sun goes down, and all the many planets are spinning around, hanging on to a little green piece of ground. Everything is round, all around the lost and found. Tubular bells make a tubular sound, and the rolling balls that go rolling around. Everything is round. You can fantasize the straight line, you can try it if you may, but I guarantee that straight line is gonna turn around someday. Everything is round. Crazy man beating on a big skin drum, and everybody waiting on the kingdom come, while every other kingdom just comes undone. Everything is round. Starting from the Mother Earth, learning what a circle's worth, returning to the place of birth, and everything is round. You can calculate the answer, you can call it MC squared, but if space and time are truly curved, there are no squares out there. Everything is round. Well, if God could speak, he'd have to say, forget about the judgment day, there's no straight and narrow anyway. Everything is round. Entropy and institution, a convoluted evolution, revolving every revolution, and everything is round. Everything is round. Everything is round. Everything. I only used one finger on that. They're just going so fast it looks like two. Okay. I have another coffee, do I dare? No, I have enough right here. I've been spreading it around the stage. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. Whatever that is, you need one of those. You all need one of those, whatever that is. Man, that's really good. That's a chai thing. No? I'm not. Tea, oh, man. It's fabulous. He held that truth like a fistful of lightning, put it out in the world and he let it go. And it went viral out into cyberspace until nobody could say that they didn't know. And what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. And what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. Should have seen him popping off shots in the helicopter as it hovered overhead. Should have seen the figures on the ground duck and run for cover, tangled in the wounded and the dead. It wasn't like they said it was gonna be. There were no heroes in the white hats. And those people on the ground, they weren't even civilians. They weren't even soldiers, they were civilians. So what do you think about that? And what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. And what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. They came for Bradley Manning, put him in a little white room where the light was always on. They locked the door behind and they said, we're going to give you justice until the justice is all gone. And what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. But what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. Get you arrested. Secrets are the fuel to run the big machine. Secrets are the poison of our history. Secrets are a coward, they don't like to be seen. They hide in mystery, feed on mystery. And what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. And what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. They say that history is written by the victors who define it and then nail it down. Yeah, but history is like a wheel, and wheels spin around. There are no heroes in the cover-ups of war crimes. At least that's what it seems to me. Bradley Manning blew the cover, so he's a hero to me. Now what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. Now what you don't know can kill you. The truth will get you arrested. Get you arrested. Get you arrested. I fucked up the ending of it. Oh well. So going back to Stephen Jesse Bernstein, whose song I played way back at the beginning. Somebody's looking for their voice. Jesse was a troubled soul. He came up to Seattle with a load of baggage he was never able to actually put down. And there are reasons for that. Sometimes baggage is just plain out hard to put down. And sometimes the entertainment business likes your baggage and they don't want you to put it down because then you're not as interesting. Jesse had a condition where his brain was too big for his skull. That's how he explained it to me. And he got seizures because of that. And when he had a seizure, his body would go numb. His whole body would go numb. And it drove him crazy. Can't feel anything. Drove him crazy. His hobby was anatomy, and he would carve on himself to make himself feel. And sometimes he would do that on stage, and the people in the audience really liked that. They kind of liked it. And so, you know, he got himself in a predicament. One day he just had enough. He couldn't do it anymore. He couldn't handle it anymore. And he went out to Nia Bay, and he committed harry-carry. It was all very ceremonial. And in his mind, I'm sure, beautiful in its way because that's what he had to do. That's what he felt he had to do. So I was sitting, after it happened, because Jesse was a friend of mine, after that happened, after he killed himself, I was sitting in the Blue Moon Tavern back in the days when I used to do that sort of thing. And I was sitting there, and I was just kind of like trying to figure out how things could go so wrong, and yet there would be a culture that liked it when it went wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I just couldn't. And this big, likable, dyslexic friend of mine who worked at Boeing, and he was a Grateful Dead taper, and just kind of this big, likable, doofus kind of a guy, walked up, and I told him about it. I said, I don't understand. It's driving me crazy, Jesse. I mean, you know, Jesse Bernstein. It's driving me crazy. I told him about his brain and the seizures and the numbness and everything, and Bill just looked at me and he said, "The greatest pain is when you can't feel anything." And I sat up. I said, "What did you just say?" He said, "The greatest pain is when you can't feel anything." So I went right home and I wrote this. When Jesse went numb, the world went mad. His skin was the only contact he had. No feelings, no senses to touch. Sometimes you know it's just got to be too much. Far away in those L.A. County days, dangerous companions so aimlessly amazed, the imprints of violence on such a gentle soul, and the long time shadow takes its toll. And they say the greatest pain, they say the greatest pain, they say the greatest pain, when you can't feel anything. Jesse tried to tell it in the language of the day. Over the glamour of the spotlight took the meanings all away. Followed out in syllables, windswept and raining. Everybody thought his pain was so very entertaining. Say the greatest pain, They say the greatest pain. They say the greatest pain is when you can't feel anything. Yeah. Friends can touch and go, and in the places where we meet, we can have an understanding that we think to be complete. Shared communication, giving names to all our fears, never knowing what was missing until the world disappears. Until the world disappears. Jesse disappeared one night when time was growing thin, with a demon at his throat and the lights all going dim. He left his hollow body, face up to meet the dawn. By the time they found him, he was already gone. People are like landscapes, they are vast and undiscovered. Eye to eye, a mystery, even to each other. Some are dry like a desert, some are like a garden to the sea. But the parts that matter most are the parts we never see. And they say the greatest pain, they say the greatest pain, they say the greatest pain, when you can't feel anything, can't feel anything at all. You know, sometimes just you couldn't feel anything at all. Nothing. Thank you. I screwed up the chords on that one. Oops. Whoops, yeah. Yeah. You'd notice if I played it for you again. Now that I know what I was supposed to go. Oh, well. Yeah.
This is Redmond, you know, they're tearing down the whole downtown, they're putting up high rises here. And so sometime tonight, if you can get up enough anger, do Wrecking Ball. And then the other thing,
Wrecking Ball Blues.
Wrecking Ball.
What's the other thing? What? Oh, okay. I do take requests. What did you say? Meinong. Oh, good idea. I'm going to do Meinong right now because that feels right. I love this song. I don't know why. It's just a lovely little, you know, if I do say so myself. And I sent a copy of this to the guy who ran the bed and breakfast that I was staying in when I wrote this song over in Taiwan, in a little town called Meinong. It's called something like the International Bed and Breakfast or something like that. And I never heard a word back. And I'm kind of surprised. I hope he's okay. Because he went out of his way. He made me bacon and eggs every morning. I was there for 3 days. Even if I didn't want it. It's like, you know, you go all the way around the world. You're bound, at least I am bound and determined to eat somebody else's food, right? I'm going to eat their food. It's all the way around the world. And he's giving me bacon and eggs every morning. I couldn't say no because he went out of his way to do it. So I wanted to write a song. I'm going to sing this song for that little girl over there. This is a dance song. I know. But this is the dance song. So all I wanted was a song that when I sang it, it was full of pictures, just pictures. All those pictures would come back to me, and those people would come back in the mountains, and the monkeys that live up there in the mountains. That's right. And the place is called Menong. And yes, 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 it actually is in the Valley of the Butterfly. Wouldn't you love to live in a place called the Valley of the Butterfly? I actually don't remember if there were any butterflies at least, but I was there in, what time was it? December. Butterflies might be out of season. It might be their cocoon season. I don't know. In Menong, in the Valley of the Butterfly, time doesn't go very fast. Things just seem to last. In Menong, I saw a butterfly dance like a butterfly does. Made me think about how clumsy I was. In Menong, I saw a man on a bicycle balancing a load of wood. His balance was that good. In Menong, I saw a family of 5 on a motor scooter going out for a drive. In Menong, in Menong. And it's a big round world. Yes, it is all around the world. It's a big round world. Yes, it is all around the world. In Menong, there was a temple on the hillside. I prayed to the Buddha for the flower to open up wide. In Menong, I drank the good strong ginger tea, and it agreed with me. In Menong, everything grew, tomato and a pepper and a beetle nut too. In Menong, I ate the green grass, the fish and the squid, and everybody else did too. In Menong, in Menong. And it's a big round world, yes it is, all around the world. It's a big round world, all around the world, yes it is. Yeah, just like this. In Menong, there was a melon so sweet and juicy on my sweater, and something like an apple only better. In Menong, the sun blew by on a butterfly breeze, ricochet wing way up in the trees. In Menong, my spirit got lighter and my head got clear. I thought to myself, I'm gonna stay right here in Menong. In Menong. And it's a big round world, yes it is, all around the world. It's a big round world, yes it is, all around the world. In Menong, all around the circle eternity flows, but after a while you gotta go, I suppose. In Menong, everybody's got a home and I got mine. Don't say goodbye, say see you next time in Menong. In Menong. And it's a big round world, yes it is, all around the world. It's a big round world, yes it is, all around the world. Oh, it's a big round world, yes it is, all around the world, all around the world. It's a big round world, all around the world. Now, I used to live in the city, an apartment on the second floor. I used to live in the city, an apartment on the second floor. Until the man with the money said I couldn't live there no more. So well, they brought in a wrecking ball and beat it to a hole in the ground. Yes, they brought in a wrecking ball and beat it to a hole in the ground. They put me outside and walked and made me homeless in my own hometown. Well, tell me who loves a wrecking ball? It surely ain't a friend of mine. Yeah, who loves a wrecking ball? It surely ain't a friend of mine. They put the bank, they put the money in, and I ain't even got a dime, not even a dime. Well, I served my country and I loved it like a long-lost friend. Yeah, I served my country and I loved it like a long-lost friend. Now my country don't love me back, looks like 'cause I ain't got the money to spend. You know my shoes, the one from walking and my head is spinning around. Yeah, my shoes, the one from walking and my head is spinning around. Then there's a cop with a ticket book, you're telling me I can't sit down. Yeah. Well, I'm tapping on your shoulder, I'm whispering in your ear. Yeah, I'm tapping on your shoulder and whispering in your ear. You know I'm only trying to warn you, but you seem to be so hard to hear. I'm thinking dangerous thoughts and I know I ain't the only one. I'm thinking dangerous thoughts and I know I ain't the only one. I'm thinking about that wrecking ball and how I'd like to get me one. Well, I know if I had a wrecking ball, I'd turn it on the city hall. Yes, if I had a wrecking ball, I'd turn it on the city hall. Yes, I would. And I stand back and laugh while I watched it fall. God, the time goes by fast. I've only got half an hour left. I just got started, I think. I just got here. Didn't I just get here? Just now? That's what I thought. Something's weird, man. I don't know what's going on around here. Chris Ramey gave me this guitar. We'd been friends for years and we came this far, living in a world of folk clubs and bars, songs for every season, and we sang them on the steel string guitar. Chris Ramey was a big man and he sang a big song, and in my younger days I tagged along. He had a big life, he lived it right out loud, head and shoulders over everybody else in the crowd. He rode with the pranksters, he knew Neil Cassidy too, Janis Joplin, the Candle Foreman, and Almost Rendezvous, Jesse Fuller, Margot St. James. Everybody knew Chris Ramey, and he knew them all the same, all the same. Yeah, he could drink you under the table, he could trip you over the moon, he could tell more tales than a Carney Barker on a Saturday afternoon. He had a heart of gold, he was golden to the core. He'd give you the shirt off his back, and if you needed a bed, he'd sleep on the floor. Now I lost track of Ramey. He lost track of me. Then I heard he was selling cars down in the valley. His guitar was in the closet. Strings were old and dead, but he still had all those songs in his head. In his head. I said, hey, Chris, I don't know about these cars, but guitar strings call for fingers, and your fingers need guitars. And these kids out there nowadays, well, they seem so young, they need a master like you to show them how it's done, how it's done. Well, he's a little rusty at first. Then the rust was dusted off. Magic came alive and the songs woke up like a sleeper on the rebound from a long tangential dream. Chris Ramey was back on the scene, on the scene. He got himself a good set of wheels from that used car lot. He put a PA in the trunk and he went out gigging while the gigging was hot. He got a brand new repertoire. It was a fine sight to see. And with his harmonica buddy Jimmy Two Rands, he made his first CD. Yes, he did. And the music was alive. He was living in the zone, and he loved those old Gibsons and Epiphones. He knew I did too. It was almost biology, so whenever he found a good one, well, he'd show it to me. He'd show it to me. Life catches up with you, no matter how fast you drive, and they say that nobody gets out of here alive. Songs to come in singing with, songs to fly away, and he knew he'd have to sing one of those other ones someday, someday. Chris Ramey gave me this guitar. When he knew the time was near, he said, go pick the one that speaks to you, Jim, and get it out of here. So I took this old slope shoulder with the sunburst top. It made bells beneath my fingers, and it would not let me stop, let me stop. So sing a song for laughter, sing a song for tears, sing a song for old friends who've known you all these years. Sing a song for leaving, another one for when you're gone. For life is just a melody waiting for a song, for a song. There was a problem in there, but it's fixed now. No one could sing the blues like Lightning Hopkins. I don't care what anybody said. I was 15 years old, riding by the passenger window with my radio up against my head. And that's when I heard him for the first time, cutting in through the noise of the car. And my whole world turned upside down. I just had to learn to sing and play guitar. So I got on my bicycle with the high-rise handlebars, and I would ride for 20 miles on a run. I got every one of his records I could find back then. I had 11 of them by the time I was done. And I never learned to play the blues. I hope that's all right. I never learned to play the blues, but I could sing and play guitar on end. Now years later up in Seattle town, Lightning came through playing 3 nights in a row. I caught up with him early in the dressing room. Somehow I just had to let him know. So I took out my guitar and I started playing. And I made him up a song to tell it right, about the radio, the car, and all of his records, and how glad I was to meet him that night. And I sang about what he taught me without even knowing it, and all the lessons I still had to learn. And Lightning, he just grinned. When I was done, he told me a story in return. And I never learned to play the blues. I hope that's all right. I never learned to play the blues, but I can sing and play guitar all night. Now this is what he told me. He said he was walking around the backwoods down in Texas one time. When he was only 12 years old. He was carrying his guitars almost as big as he was. He was tired, hungry, and cold. He saw some people were having a picnic. And he asked if he could sing for his meal. They turned him away and said because he was too raggedy. He could still remember how it made him feel. Then he looked off into the distance through his dark sunglasses, and he grinned a little more just for chance. He said, now I got money in the bank back home, and they know who I am in France. And I never learned to play the blues. I hope that's all right. I never learned to play the blues, but I can sing and I can play guitar all night. Now Lightning died back in '82. I can still remember where I was and how I heard. I was playing the meeting place in Dublin. Local blues singer gave me the word. Now some people, they pass right through you. Maybe they leave a little mark. Some people shine like a light for you sometimes. Help you find your way when it gets dark. They say that this world is made of stories. From these stories our songs are grown. Sometimes, you know, the songs just get so big, you have to go out and make a song of your own. And I never learned to play the blues. I hope that's all right. I never learned to play the blues, but I can sing and play guitar all night. Thank you. I need to do something a little bit laid back now. What will that be? Hold a second. Hold a second. That's not exactly laid back. I'm going to do that at the end. I'm doing that at the end. What? You know, I was thinking about that. All right. Exactly. Exactly. You know, I was going to say the same thing myself. But I was going to phrase it slightly differently. Yeah, more like that. Ghost bikes, ghost bikes, ghost bikes, ghost bikes, bicycles all over town. Dangerous streets, they'll run you down. Memorialized among the stars, with wildflowers on your handlebars. Ghost bikes, ghost bikes, bicycles, as free as a breeze. What could be more humane than this? Like pedal birds, that's what they are. Don't stand a chance against cars. Ghost bikes, ghost bikes. This country was built on petroleum wheels, factory whistles and business deals. You could be a trader to the bottom line. You know they don't even see it till it's too late sometimes. Ghost bikes, ghost bikes, ghost bikes, ghost bikes. Somebody got hit on a Saturday night. They took a bicycle and they painted it white. Now it's a ghost. And an epitaph, keepsakes in the photograph. Could have been somebody that you almost knew. Could have been you. Ghost bikes, ghost bikes. A long time ago, somebody invented a wheel. Somebody else said, well, this is going to be a big deal. Humanity is going to have to decide whether to asphyxiate itself or go out for a ride. Ghost bikes, ghost bikes, ghost bikes, ghost bikes. You want to change the world, do it one step at a time. Get out of that dinosaur and leave it behind. And ghost So write a poem, sing a song. Life goes on, so get back on. Ride for everybody who has ever ridden before. Ride some more. Ghost bikes, ghost bikes, ghost bikes. this song for a long, long time. And I really like it. Oh, the cuckoo, she's a pretty bird, and she warbles as she flies, and she never hollers cuckoo till the 4th day of July. I'm gonna build me a log cabin up on a mountain so high, so I can see all the people as they go passing by. Well, sometimes, well, I wonder what makes women love men. And then sometimes, well, I wonder what makes men love them. Oh, the cuckoo, she's a pretty bird, and she warbles as she flies, and she never hollers cuckoo till the 4th day of July. Well, I played cards in England, and I played cards in Spain, and I bet you $10 that I can beat you next game. Jack of diamonds, Jack of diamonds, yes, I know you of old. You have robbed mine poor pockets of the silver and the gold. Oh, the cuckoo, she's a pretty bird, and don't I wish she were mine? She'd never drink of water, she'd only drink of wine. Okay, I got time for 2 more songs, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Now, usually there's a tip jar out there somewhere, and I don't see it, but I'm trusting that maybe we could come up with something. We improvise. Well, yeah, but there needs to be something to put it in, because that's embarrassing for people to just kind of walk them and just throw things around, and I don't want to have all those $100 bills kind of floating around there in the open, because you know how it is. People generally, I'm not saying that it's required, but I'm saying that generally speaking, the average tip is somewhere around $100. It's like, sometimes it's 82, sometimes 125, whatever. But yeah, that'd be good. How about right there on that wonderful table there, in front of those fine people right there? And you don't have to put, but that's just what's been going on in my life. So I'm gonna do 2 more songs, and I've also got CDs here, but you knew that. I wrote this one night when it was storming, and we have an old RV that sits out in front of the house. And I got out there and I started playing this guitar part, and I started singing to it, and it became this. And the rain blows against my window pane, and then the thunder comes and the daylight wanes. Oh, but it's only the weather changing as the wheel spins, and I know that when it gets dark like this, it's gonna get light again. And the sunrise makes the east get red, and when it's time to go, sets down in the west instead. Like the arc of a lifetime, as it rises up to fly, in our great imaginations, constellations in the sky. And I know I made a mess of things. I picked up that same big rock and I let it drop. And by the time I figured out whose foot was underneath, it was too late to stop. And as I get older now, I think back to when I was young, and how hard it was to get over some silly, stupid thing I'd done. I was trying to live up to something I could never be. I was trying to be somebody else, somebody other than me. But all my skies turned to blue now. All the fences open to let me in. Seems like there's nothing I couldn't do now, thanks to you, my friend. And the rain blows out my window, oh, but I don't get wet. And I don't care which way the wind blows, 'cause it ain't caught me yet. Turn up my collar and I go for a stroll. I roll it up and I let it unroll, just like a wheel when it spins, thanks to you, my friend. Oh yes. Was that?
I could have been a contender. I was listening to your song and I thought I could have been a contender.
Well, I could have been a janitor. It's never too late. That's true. It's never too late. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming out and staying and being here in this wonderful place in downtown Redmond. Oops. Hello. Okay, Todd, this is for you. I'm glad to see you're up and walking around, man. Your back thing kind of scared me.
Go ahead, start yelling.
This is a sing-along, or, as Todd will demonstrate, a shout-along. And the chorus is over my dead body, over my dead body, over my dead body, over mine. And it's a statement of intent and purpose and, however you want to see it in your life. Thank you very much for being here. One more time. We are born of nature, and in nature we will die. Oh, and if we don't make it, it's not because we didn't try. No, it's not because we didn't try. They say they will incorporate the world over my dead body, over my dead body, over my dead body, over mine. They have all the money, but we have the will, and I would rather be a match than a paper dollar bill. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. They have the guns, all we are is flesh and blood, but we will multiply our numbers and drown them in our flood. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. They say they will incorporate the world over my dead body, over my dead body, over my dead body, over mine. They have all the power, that's what they say, but we will turn those tables, take their power away. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. We will not be dissuaded, and we will not turn around. We will face the barricades, and we will tear them down. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. They say they will incorporate the world over my dead body, over my dead body, over my dead body, over mine. You can call me a fool, that's alright with me. I will live to see this good round world breaking free. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. They say they will incorporate the world over my dead body, over my dead body, over my dead body, over my... One more time. They say they will incorporate the world over my dead body, over my dead body, over my dead body, over my... Thank you very much. yours, Todd. Good to see you.
What do you got on the, what you got the yellow shirts on there?
Well, this is Covolo's the recording studio.
Somebody told me tomorrow's the orange shirt day.
Tomorrow's Orange Shirt Day?
Somebody told me this is where already.